19 minutes past 6. Thank you very much indeed for staying with Morning Live. Man, what a weekend it was, isn't it, in terms of the sporting front? A bit disappointing in terms of our national teams, the Bafana and Springboks. Unfortunately, we didn't pull off those results, but I guess we still have to get behind our boys, isn't it? I guess the only saving grace was Brandon Grace, winning the Nedbank Golf Challenge. Now, the other good watching in terms of television last night was on SABC 2, which is the South African Sports Awards. Now, my colleague Vaylen was out there in Kempton Park in Empress Palace. Vaylen, it was indeed a star-studded event, isn't it, last night? I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed watching it. Give us the latest. What's happening there?
Good morning, Blaine. Thank you so much. And yes, after a difficult weekend for our national sporting teams, last night was a welcome reprieve, a brilliant South African Sport Awards taking place right here at Emperor's Palace in Ekurhuleni. There is going to be a breakfast, a celebratory breakfast for last night's winners, as well as some of the nominees that have stayed overnight. And that's why we're actually here. But we're also here because this is the place to be able to speak to the sport bigwigs in South Africa. Now, the Minister of Sport and Recreation is my first guest. Of course, the South African Sport Awards are under his portfolio. A very good morning to you, Minister, and thank you for speaking to us on Morning Live.
Good morning, and good morning to the viewers.
This was your very first Sport Award. You can tick that one off the list. How do you feel the morning after?
I think it was a great show. A great show in the sense that we've been able to recognize, we've been able to acknowledge those athletes in terms of their performances, and we've been able to recognize what we call achievement. You could see the excitement yesterday with that climax of Luvo Manyonga when he received the main award. It was indeed a great one, and I hope it has been able to encourage the other youngsters to say, if you are performing, if you are commitment, the nation is going to be able to recognize and feel proud about you.
Now that you've started it off on this note, the vision for next year, you think that there's a couple of things that you can do differently and improve on?
Remember, I've said, many people have made this comment, that why are we cutting in terms of what we are spending? I've said to them, no. We are cutting just on the awards because you can be able to recognize these awards in kind. Of course, that's why we're giving these particular awards. But the issue which we're saying, that money is going to be used for what we call sports development and also for the sports infrastructure, especially in the countryside, so that we can increase that pool, the pool of the athletes, so that we can be able to compete nationally and internationally. Therefore, our focus this time is not just to cut, it's to focus on the infrastructure. But if you look into the activity yesterday, that pomp, that glamour was still there. That celebration was still there. So we will look into and do a review of what we've done now. Maybe we would even partner with bigger sponsors if we still want to go back to those prices. But the focus now should be development and infrastructure. That's where my program is focusing.
If we compare last year's prize monies to this year's prize monies, which is why it's such a big thing that so many people have been speaking about, there is a significant cut, but that means that money is available for development. What is the one project, if it's going into development, if it's going into developing infrastructure, what is the one project where your main focus is now?
Well, we've been speaking to the different stakeholders because we want to make this as a partnership with some companies who can be able to add more, a partnership with the legends, a partnership with the sports federations, and also coming as the department and coming with the provincial departments, putting the multi-purpose centers, but also the issue of training and putting those teachers as coaches. Remember what is happening in the schools now. Majority of the black schools, the what we call the Sports Wednesday is no more there. We are in serious discussion with the Department of Education and also talking to the teacher unions. How do we train some of the teachers to be coaches in the different sporting codes, and also train some of the legends to come and give back on the skill which they are having in the various areas, where we're going to group those particular rural areas and attach one legend, and then maybe use some of the unemployed graduates and make them sports, what we call responsible coaches. But there's going to be massive coaching, and we've agreed with a number of the sporting codes, and create some hubs. In cricket, for instance, we're talking about hubs.
Let's shift focus a little bit, because in 2 days' time there's a massive announcement that's going to be taking place in the UK, and that's to award the right to host the 2023 Rugby World Cup. Our Deputy President is out. He's gone with the team, as he was there when they presented their very first bid. Your feeling, obviously South Africa are in pole position. Many say that it's just a matter of getting a final sign-off. Your feeling that this big announcement is just 2 days away?
We're holding our breath. It's going to be a great moment, and we don't want to be complacent. But we know that we have ticked all the boxes. That is why that committee of experts has recognized us and has recommended that South Africa be given the bid. I feel very strong that we might get it, but let's expect anything. It did happen with the football the other year, where we lost with one vote. So we must always expect anything. But we believe very strongly that there would have to be very strong reasons why we do not get it. We've had a lot of people making a lot of noise. Our Irish counterparts, they've been making a lot of noise. The Irish Rugby Union, talking about crime, everything. Remember what happened in 2010. Prior to 2010, many people were talking about all these things they're talking about. But after the 2010 World Cup, everybody from the top management of FIFA, the whole world, they gave us an AA in terms of having delivered the best World Cup, FIFA World Cup or Soccer World Cup. So even here again, given the hospitality of our people of South Africa, the way we love sport, the way we use sport to unite this particular nation as part of the nation-building project, we think that we're going to be successful.
Lovely stuff. Thank you very much. That's our Minister of Sport and Recreation in South Africa, Minister Thulas Nxesi. Thank you so much for chatting to us on Morning Live. Fabulous evening last night. Great to hear the optimism, the cautious optimism from the Minister ahead of that big World Rugby announcement that will be taking place on Wednesday. Coming up from our crossings here at Emperor's Palace, we're also going to be chatting to the big stars last night. Luvo Manyonga, who walked away with Sportsman of the Year as well as Sports Star of the Year, the big accolade of the evening. And then Semenya, who won Sportswoman of the Year, as well as she was named the People's Choice Star of the Year. So that's what you can still expect from us, and that's going to be coming to you from 7:20 onwards. Do stay with Morning Live.